Okay, guys, yesterday you should have done the parts of the writing process. You should have thought about your idea. You should have made your plan on your T chart or your star chart, and you should have written your paragraph. Today, you're going to use your success criteria to edit, which means to kind of check it, make it better, and to add some dress ups. And our success criteria is going to be up here and under the My Resources button. And let's get that to open. And let's see. So we are doing expository writing. So you're writing information about your friend. So that's why it's expository. And so these are the things that are going to show us that your paragraph is successful, that you have at least 5 to 6 sentences. Okay, so if you are using your star chart, so let's see, if we have your star chart, and this is something different, but your topic sentence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You might have 11 sentences. If you have 3 star ideas and at least 1 detail, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be at least 8 sentences, so that's going to be good. So everybody should definitely have more than 5 to 6 sentences if you wrote your sentences from your T chart or your star chart. You need a topic sentence. So that is the very first sentence that tells us what your paragraph is about. So make sure you have that. You need at least 2. And like I said, people who have been, who are a little further along in the writing process, I definitely want 3 star ideas. And each star idea should have at least 1 or 2 sentences that gives me explaining details about it. So you need to be checking and make sure you have that on your paper. We really want to start and check to make sure all sentences don't start with the same word. Go back and look at the beginning of each one of your sentences. Do you start the same sentence with the same word? If you do, you need to go back and see how you can change that. We also want to look at our transitions. Is there somewhere where you could add a first, a second, a third, a finally? Or if you have already gotten really good at using those transitions, could you move into adding times of day or suddenly, quickly, the next day, that night, at dusk, at dawn, after, at, all of these transitions. So go ahead and look and see if you can add some of those. So if you can have 1 or 2 transitions in there, that's going to be great. You need to, as always, go back and look, are your capital and lowercase letters used correctly? Do you have commas where they should be? If you have 3 things in a list, do you have commas in between them? Do all of your sentences have end marks? Do you have a period after every sentence? Does the next sentence then start with a capital letter? Let's see, you can have your parents help you with spelling. So if you have spelled a word wrong, they can draw a line through it and rewrite how to spell it in pen above it before you go to your final copy. And make sure your paragraph is indented. Okay, when something is indented, that means it's moved over a little bit. So you notice the very beginning of this paragraph, the first line is moved over just a little bit. Okay, so when you're writing, if you just put 2 fingers down right here and then start writing, then everything will be indented on that first line, and then start everything else at this red line of the paper. Here's another paragraph. The very first line is moved over. That's called indenting. Okay. Okay, another part of your editing is going to be checking for wow words. Do you have some strong verbs? Instead of saying I ran, could you say I sprinted, I galloped, just be real specific in the verbs you have. In particular, there's one verb that we probably want to try to get rid of using, and I even have to do it. Instead of using the word got, just try to find a word that's more specific. Instead of saying I got a new dress, what did you do? I bought a new dress, or I got a new friend. I found a new friend, or I met a new friend. So try to be really specific, and got is a really not specific word. And so whenever at least I even see when I write it, I always try to pick a better word and erase it. Adjectives. Okay, and adverbs. So you want to have some good describing words. Adjectives are describing. So you know we want details, so the best way to get details is to add some describing words. How do things look? How do they sound? How do they smell? How do they taste? Use some good describing words. And let's try to use very little boring words like fun or good. You all have word lists. If you see you have a boring word, go ahead and that'd be one thing you could edit to look for a different one. All right, so make sure that before you turn it in, you've gone through and your paragraph meets all of these things, and then your success checklist will be correct, and you will have a successful writing assignment.